Hello and welcome to user input validation. Okay, this is where we get some input from the user, usually a string of characters, and we try to test whether or not that input is valid, whether it is the right data type and within the right range of that data type, so that we can use it in our program. So what I want to talk about here is the TryCatch, or in Python, the TryExcept block. All right, and what we do is we write inside the try portion, we put a set of code that we expect may have an error in it. And in the event of an error, instead of crashing the program, what happens is control of the program immediately leaves the try block and goes down to the except. So if we're using this for user input validation, maybe we want the user to input a number, and so we try to assign the user input and force it to be a number, and if it doesn't work, instead of having an error and crashing our program, we go into the except clause here. So in my example, I'm going to print out some messages. I'm going to go into the try and print out that I'll begin the try, and then I'm going to try to divide by 0 and assign that to my variable here. We can't divide by 0. That's not a legal thing for us to do. It's going to cause an error, and as soon as that causes the error, I have another print statement down here. We should not be able to reach that print statement. Instead, we'll leave the try block, go down to the except, and we'll begin printing these statements here instead. All right, so if I run this, and we'll check our output, that's it. Begin the try, and then I start printing out an error occurred, but we can handle that error gracefully, and instead of crashing, we can keep on running because we've planned for it. And something else to note is the except. We can have multiple excepts, and we can write down specific kinds of errors that we might be looking for. So if we want the user to input a number and they input a letter instead, we can say except and look for the particular type of error that they've given us. We can give a particular type of message or execute some other particular piece of code. Okay, so the TryCatch or the TryExcept allows us to try some code, and when and if an error occurs, we'll go into the except and we can handle it properly. And if the code continues to work properly, if I was to change this and say this is equal to 5 divided by 1 now, and I run that, okay, now we get to the line that we shouldn't get to because there's no error anymore. Okay, so I'll make this a 0 again, and now there's an error, but it's not going to actually generate an error. We'll hit that error. It does happen, but we're going to handle it gracefully. Okay. All right, so that's the TryCatch or the TryExcept block. Thanks for watching.